Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us here for another edition of our 10 Weather Impact Show. I'm meteorologist Aaron White here on our Memorial Day, and it's actually turning out to be a much nicer day as we saw all that rain clear out yesterday, and now we are looking at some dry conditions and a bit more sunshine here for the rest of today, and really looking at only just minor chances for rain here in the extended forecast. And before we get into the forecast, we want to check out some video from this morning. We were actually tracking some dense fog across the area. This is a look at I-270 at US 33 on the northwest side from earlier today. You can see just how difficult it was to really even see outside just with some of that thick fog that really started to roll in yesterday evening around 10 p.m. and it did continue through most of the night before starting to clear out as we went through this morning. And now again, we are tracking some sunshine as we talk about the forecast here as we are looking ahead to some better conditions here this afternoon. Starting to see some of that sunshine. A partly cloudy sky right now. Here's a live look at downtown, and temperatures are starting to warm up even more now into the low 70s, currently 73. Winds out of the east-northeast at 6 miles per hour, and we are going to continue to see these nice conditions continue for the rest of today. But we had a lot of rain. This is a look at the rainfall over the last week, and notice some of those numbers getting up over 4 inches. In Columbus, we had almost 5 inches of rainfall. This includes the showers and storms that we had last week Tuesday, the rain on Wednesday, the rain on Friday, the rain Saturday, and the rain Sunday. So through the course of the whole week, we just had a lot. I mean, we're talking 2 to 5, 6 inches of rainfall here in the last week. And thankfully, we are looking at dry conditions here today. Only one chance for rain in the 7-day forecast that actually will bring us a little bit of measurable rainfall here Tuesday night into Wednesday for especially areas south of I-70, which unfortunately is where we saw some of the heaviest of the rain. Now, of course, we've been talking about it here the last couple of days, still watching some areas of flooding, some river flooding. Anywhere you see some of the gauges that are showing, those circles that are showing orange, that is at least minor flood stage. We did have one that actually reached moderate flood stage up just west of Marion on the Saddle River. That was on Saturday, but thankfully those levels are starting to drop. There is still some flooding in some areas, but we are looking at some improving conditions. Now, I did mention that chance of rain we have coming up here Tuesday night into Wednesday. Overall, though, we are looking ahead to some drier conditions as we go through the extended forecast. This is getting into the end of the week, the weekend, and going into next week. This is May 30th through June 3rd. Likely going to see some drier than normal conditions, only really minor chances for rain. And this is what we have in the forecast. We could see a couple sprinkles, a couple showers around tomorrow. Better chances coming in overnight into Wednesday, especially through the morning on Wednesday. And then those chances really dropping off here as we get into the end of the week and for the weekend. So looking at much better conditions, but of course we've already had enough rain and the ground is still saturated. So one thing that we'll have to watch for as we head into tonight, just like we talked about here at the beginning of the show, some more fog. Maybe not as widespread as we had earlier this morning and last night, but some patchy, dense fog, not out of the realm of possibility here as we go through tonight, just because the ground, again, still being so saturated here from all that rain. But things are clearing out. We are still tracking just a couple of sprinkles here in southeastern Ohio. Not going to see any added moisture. It's not going to cause any more problems here, but there is still some flooding going on. So it will start to dry out, thankfully, as we go through the rest of today. And you'll notice we're starting to see some more sunshine here, especially to the north of I-70, right around Columbus, and points to the north. And that trend will continue as we go into tomorrow. But really looking ahead to Thursday, Friday, into the weekend for a lot more sunshine. So as we go through the hour-by-hour forecast here for the rest of today, we will see a mix of clouds and sun, a little bit more cloud cover to the south. Some of that will start to roll in as we head into tonight. Again, there is that chance we could see some patchy fog, nothing really widespread. Here we are in the morning on your Tuesday. Some cloud cover around. There will still be some sunshine as we go through the morning. There will be that chance for a few scattered showers, especially south of I-70 here as we go through the day. And then as we get into Tuesday night, more rain showers start to build in, and especially here for Wednesday morning, could see a pocket of some heavy rainfall building through. So we will be watching that. And then a lot of that starts to taper off as we get into the later afternoon and for the evening here on your Wednesday, before we, of course, see those drier conditions here for the rest of the week. So here's a look ahead to that 7-day forecast. Again, we are tracking the rain coming in here for Tuesday night into Wednesday. Overall, though, we are tracking some pretty nice temperatures back into the upper 70s, lower 80s. We got 82 for a high here tomorrow. 79 on Wednesday, so just a touch cooler with the clouds and the rain showers around, especially for the morning. And then as we look ahead to the rest of the 7-day forecast, we're still talking about temperatures staying into the upper 70s and lower 80s, and just a touch cooler for the weekend, but we'll still get the mid 70s here as we get into your Saturday and Sunday. And of course, today being Memorial Day, and that means many of you are actually home from work, of course. And so here's a quick reminder of what is actually closed in remembrance of the holiday. The post office will be closed, and don't expect any mail to be delivered today. UPS and FedEx will also not be delivering or picking up packages today. Most banks will also be closed as well. And today, most grocery stores, restaurants, and retail stores will be open with regular hours. Some pharmacies like CVS and Walgreens may have different hours today. And if you need to go out shopping today, experts say the best way to know if the store is open is to either call or go to their website. And let's take a look at some Memorial Day events happening around Central Ohio. Green Lawn Cemetery in Columbus is holding an open house actually today through 3 p.m. People will be given free flags to decorate veterans' graves. Grove City will also hold a Memorial Day parade throughout the historic town center. That was happening earlier today, and in Marysville held a wreath-laying ceremony honoring those lost at sea. We have a full list of Memorial Day events on our website at 10tv.com. And now turning to some continuing coverage from the heavy rainfall over the weekend. The second day of the Asian Festival was actually canceled because of all that rain that we had on Sunday. Festival organizers posted this message on social media saying, quote, "We truly appreciate everyone's understanding and we look forward to celebrating together again next year. We hope to see you back for another unforgettable Asian Festival." And the 50th annual Utica Ice Cream Festival also had to cancel on Sunday due to all that rain. Festival organizers say the general parking lot where a majority of the attendees park was completely underwater. And if they continue today, they may extend those hours past 4 p.m. to make up for the closure. And that heavy rainfall over the weekend didn't just cancel events, but left many just with some flooding as well. This actually happened in Union County, saw major flooding on Saturday, causing a mess on the roads. This video is showing some of the flooding on Collins Road. Many cars were forced to stop and turn around to avoid this flooding. We talked with one neighbor who says he is not really a stranger to some of these conditions.
We got back about 3 o'clock or so, and it was up to here. It's usually 3 to 4 feet down to the deepest part. Usually the cars, SUVs will pull up, look at it, and then turn around and go back. It's the big trucks that'll try to go through it.
And the National Weather Service's message is that it's never safe to walk or drive through flooded waters. So if you see spots like this, turn around and don't drown. Also, take a look at some of this video captured in Pickaway County. You can see the high water on the road about a half a mile west of US 23. Water from the nearby creek has poured over onto the roads and into the fields. Remember, if you see high water or if you see signs warning of high water, again, turn around, don't drown. So we've been dealing with a lot of flooding, and thankfully, as we've mentioned in the forecast, things are improving. Now, the flooding over the weekend wasn't just limited to here in Ohio. Check out this dramatic video coming out of Texas. Police video showing a dramatic rescue of an infant from a car trapped in the floodwaters in southern Texas on Saturday, after the driver of the vehicle entered a creek crossing that had become inundated by heavy rainfall. And just dramatic video there after, again, torrential rainfall there in parts of southern Texas. And check this out. Several tornadoes were reported as the holiday weekend kicked off on Friday. This video here shows a tornado sweeping across the horizon in Holly Pond, Alabama. One woman can be heard asking if what they are seeing is actually a tornado. Another responds with yes. So pretty dramatic scenes happening all across parts of the country with tornadoes and heavy rainfall. And this scene from Alabama Friday is another near Vance, Alabama, where a tornado crossed over the interstate in Tuscaloosa County. Shelley actually captured this video as she was driving on Interstate 20, and you can see there the tornado actually crossing the highway. She says she did not receive a tornado warning until several minutes after she saw the tornado. The National Weather Service says the twister was an EF1 and had traveled a couple of miles. No injuries were reported, but it did cause some minor damage to some homes in that area. But definitely a dramatic scene there. And while some were dealing with active weather over the holiday weekend, others were still cleaning up from the storms that hit over the past week. Kiefer Zabel reports from one family's story on survival in Nebraska.
Oh, of course you're scared, but I'm kind of a matter-of-fact kind of person. I mean, we're safe, and this can be rebuilt.
Rochelle and Curtis Seller were home when Sunday's tornado hit their house.
Luckily, something compelled me to get up off the couch and go out and look out my front window, and I saw the tornado right over the top of my neighbors over there. It was massive. Luckily, I was able to scream and get my dogs and my husband downstairs.
After the tornado passed, help was there within 5 minutes to pull them from the damage by a nearby storm chaser.
The husband and wife were trapped in their basement because the walls of their house had collapsed onto their staircase, and whatever parts of the frame of the house were on the staircase.
The family was trapped downstairs with rubble keeping them stuck.
The wall to my bathroom had just flipped right over on top of it, so there was no moving that, but there was about that much space for me to stick my head out, and that's when Scott hollered. We got his attention, and they came over and cut a spot out, and firefighters showed up and they got us out.
And now we're going to switch things up from all the active weather, severe weather, and of course the flooding to basically the complete opposite as we talk about ongoing drought conditions. First up, something that could help turn things around is actually cloud seeding. Rain Enhancement Technologies is actually exploring the possibility of bringing its system to Nevada after conducting projects in Utah. Unlike traditional cloud seeding, which disperses silver iodide particles into the storm clouds to encourage precipitation, the technology actually relies on electrically charged negative ions. The company says its ground-based units release negative ions into naturally occurring wind currents, and as those ions move into the clouds, they are designed to increase water droplets to combine and grow larger, potentially increasing rain and snowfall.
Weather enhancement technology array looks very similar to an American football goalpost. So that basically shoots electrically charged corona discharge up into the atmosphere, and it causes a reaction. So if it's going to rain or snow, it makes the rain or snow.
And according to the company, recent studies conducted in Utah found precipitation increases of more than 20% during testing periods. The company says the technology can be activated only when favorable weather conditions are present and shut down if the forecasts change. So definitely interesting to see how they continue on with some of that technology out there in the desert Southwest. And another method to conserve water is being tested out of Colorado, with the Colorado Water Trust actually paying some farmers not to use water. Colton Chavez reports.
In an average year, we still have rivers in need, but this year we're going to see it.
Colorado Water Trust says they don't like what they see when it comes to this year's river levels.
What we're seeing is the threat of rivers going completely dry.
Kate Ryan runs the nonprofit and says it's caused by Colorado's record low snowpack this winter. So this summer, she's asking people who depend on water to share it.
So most farming and ranching does pull their water from our rivers, and that water is melted snow.
Kate says the nonprofit is offering farmers short-term paid agreements to leave water in the river instead of diverting it to their fields, with legal protections in place so their water rights aren't permanently affected.
We also have 25 ongoing projects around the state. And so we are going to be putting water back into rivers this year for sure.
But Kate says even that won't be enough to keep things rolling.
Even some of those projects that we normally would operate, there may not be enough water to even get down the stream to where we would be protecting that water in the river.
She says for farmers already facing a tough season, leaving water in the river might actually pay more than using it.
We have a rancher who we've worked with in the past, and he puts it really well. He'll be like, well, you know, some years, he says, my barn is full of hay and my wallet's empty. So yes, I definitely want to do it.
For the Colorado Water Trust, they say how they're going to measure success for this year is based on what a select few rivers look like. The Colorado, the Yampa, and even right here at Boulder Creek. And if it works, Kate says she likes what that could look like.
Hopefully the types of projects we work on at Colorado Water Trust are great for rivers.
And great for both sides.
But they're also good for agriculture and the economies and communities that depend on it.
From Boulder, Colton Chavez, 9 News.
And definitely some good efforts to conserve some water out there, and hopefully they can get some more moisture out there in parts of Colorado. And before we go today, we want to check out some new video into us here at 10 TV. And first up, check out this way one alligator was trying to beat the heat last week. This video shows an alligator that was found swimming in a pool at a home in parts of Texas last Wednesday. Police officers captured the gator and removed it from the pool, taking the gator to the police car in order to get it away from the property. It was not reported where the gator later ended up, but still it's kind of wild to see, you know, just walking out the back door onto the patio and seeing an alligator in the pool. I mean, I can only imagine having to deal with that. But of course, they were able to get it into the police car and then took it somewhere where it needed to go. But still, just wild seeing out there, Texas. And finally today, colorful streaks brightened up the evening sky across eastern Australia. This was back on Thursday, and you can see the upper right of this clip. Astrophysicists confirmed the green and blue hues seen were actually of a meteor rich in iron and nickel. And a dashboard camera recorded some of the phenomenon as it was passing through. You can kind of see that fireball there in a town central west region of New South Wales. The horizon and behind Sydney's iconic Harbour Bridge lit up in orange, and just a really cool, dramatic sight, seeing that meteor falling through, traveling through the atmosphere while it was being filmed. A golfer there, you can see didn't even see it until after the fact, and basically missing the whole event. And tens of people reported witnessing the fireball, and some had mistaken the light as a UFO. According to NASA, meteors are common and multiple of them can be seen on cloudless nights. And of course, if you remember back just a couple of months ago, we had some sightings here in parts of Ohio, actually a couple different ones over the span of a few weeks. So again, as NASA said, these do happen fairly regularly. We actually have these happen pretty much every day. Again, these happen around the world. Most of the time, they're so small that they don't even make any, no one even sees them. They're very small. Meteor showers happen every year, but some of those more impressive fireballs don't happen all the time. A little bit more rare to see that. Again, the one you saw there in Australia, and of course what we saw here just a few months ago back in Ohio with that meteor that ended up landing in northeastern parts of Ohio. So some pretty cool stuff, and we want to get a check of our forecast here one more time before we wrap things up here for today. Again, this is our 7-day forecast showing that high of 78 degrees here for this afternoon. We'll be up to about 82 for tomorrow. Keeping chances up to about 20% for a few showers, mainly south of I-70 as we go through the afternoon. And then chances going up as we get into late Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, especially 78 degrees for the high. And then we'll see highs into the 70s as we go through Thursday, Friday, maybe getting closer to 80 degrees in a couple places before we cool things back down and looking ahead towards the weekend. But we are still tracking some more sunshine. And then what we're looking at here, this is the outlook for that first week of June. Of course, we got the Memorial Tournament coming up here as we get towards that weekend around June 4th through the 7th. And right now, outlook is looking drier than normal, so that would definitely be some good news for the Memorial Tournament. Of course, we'll be watching that forecast for any chances of rain. As we all know, there have been some rainy times in the past with the tournament, but hopefully we don't have to worry about that this year. So that'll do it for us here today on the 10 Weather Impact Show. Coming up later on this afternoon, Chief Meteorologist Chris Stomer is in with the latest forecast, looking ahead to that chance of rain here on Wednesday. So you can catch more news and weather on TV.com.